Well, hello, and welcome back to Idle Kingdom Defense. So today, 24,030, and of course, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to subscribe, and you know it, I know it, make sure you ring that bell. So we actually have some big news today, some very big news I know some people have really been waiting for. But first, let's go ahead and get the regular stuff out of the way. And then I'll do the big review. That's the best way to do it. Or should I do the big reveal right now? Well, I mean, obviously we're sweeping the dragon right now. Getting the dragon to 80 is not the big reveal. We did that a while back. I guess we'll do it after the dragon. Let's get this last one out. And there we go. So the big reveal is that we have finally beat Icemine 1110. Finally, which now means we can sweep Icemine 1010. Now, I'm not going to be able to just change everything on a whim. I'm going to have to spend some time to kind of figure out how we're going to change things. Obviously, tomorrow is restock day anyways, so we won't be changing too much tomorrow. But we can house sweep this. And we might, if we're lucky, occasionally get something good. Alright. So there we go. That's the big news. Let's continue doing Portal real quick. But yeah, it went... So after last time being pretty disappointed with where my DPS was at 4,200, and I think it was like 4,250 or something like that, because I had the same problem. Like, we're not regularly trying to do these, so it does take a while. I just went in. I mean, I did do a setup to keep things off the castle, because you kind of have to do that. And the Archer store has been purchased. And astrology. Let's astrologize real quick while I tell the story. And it went pretty smooth. I didn't even have to intervene. It was a pretty quick kill. Everything like went according to plan. I was like, there was a point where I was cautiously optimistic. Like, is this going to happen? And then it finally happened. So, yeah. But all that said, how are you doing today? I do hope everything is going well for you. Obviously, we finally made some progress. And so, after we do this, we're gonna touch on Total War. And we're gonna kind of talk about where we're headed next. Because my plan is to kind of stick to the same pace, do one stage a game, a day. I don't know how we're gonna handle Portal. That is an open question. Okay, so we didn't get anything here. That's fine. King's Ruin has been ruined. So let's go to Total War. Let's look at this for a minute. So first off, I have to completely redo how my sweeps and everything work. I'm probably going to have muscle memory issues, and that's not going to be an immediate thing. But let's take a look here. So we completed the Flame Fortress and Icemine. Poison Cave is at 8 out of 10. Excuse me. 11-8. Lightning Hall is 11-6. Obviously, given everything, we're going to do Lightning Hall next. Then, assuming we finish Lightning Hall, we will do Poison Cave. I don't know how this is going to adjust my sweeps. We're going to have to see how... Like, once I start sweeping this, because right now, I'll say this. For everything about Flame Fortress 10, very convenient to sweep. You pop in, it's right here, you sweep it, it's very nice. I'm probably going to have some issues where I forget. But that's a problem for the future. And so I'm not really planning on transitioning my sweeps right away. I need to look at some things. And then I have to determine if I do that, how are we going to balance it, right? Because one of my key concerns, of course, will be balancing the sweeps, because right now, I'm not saying I have a perfect balance, but we have kind of a rhythm going, and now we're going to have to get a new rhythm. That's not a bad thing, but it is going to take me some adjusting to. And survey says crit damage. That's what I like to see. And survey says defense. Well, that'd be nice in another world. Yeah, I honestly do wish I could just give give Sophia Marion's artifacts, because oh my goodness, she has so much defense on accident. It makes me kind of mad. Not like mad, but kind of disappointed that Christian's artifacts didn't roll like crit damage and defense. If they would have rolled crit damage and defense, I could have at least given them both to Sophie. And you know, that's one of the things I meant to do that didn't happen. I was intending to give Christian's artifact to Sophia to help her heal the castle, because I could tell she was falling a bit behind. And, alright, so we're at, well, this is not good at all. We're looking at 15 after this. And survey says, ignore defense. What can you do? But I forgot, and I started the battle, and I was like, oops. I think it was okay, because it seemed like Christian, like, he actually cleaned up some of the ones, like, that Marion didn't finish off, it seemed like. I'm not 100% on that, but it certainly seemed like he did that. Obviously, it takes him forever to do anything, and we can't see the DPS meters, so we don't really know how much he contributed. But we can imagine a world where he contributed. At least I can imagine. Can you imagine a world where he contributed? Do we even have anything to dismantle? No. Alright, we're just gonna kind of have to save that for tomorrow. That's nice, though. We even them out. Alright, so we have 15 rings and 15 orbs, and we have to awaken orbs tomorrow. We'll probably try and push to 1818. So let's... Oh, yeah, okay, we have 2 rings. Okay. So let's see where this leaves us. Like, I think pushing to 1818 is pretty reasonable. Really not the greatest, but not the worst sweep here. We'll do a formal count after this. I think it's going to be skewed heavily in favor of rings. And honestly, from all our testing, you don't really get that many 5-star. It's like 1 here or there. I mean, so obviously I should do it. Alright, so it must have been even 15-15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yep, 15. So 17 rings, 15 orbs. And let's take a look at Marion. 198.75 million and 452,975 crit damage. So very nice stats. Obviously, even though Marion has taken me like so long to get here, at least we're here. And at least we made it here. So with that, we're now 2 out of 4 for 1110. And again, priority, like if everything goes according to plan, we're going to spend the next 5 days-ish. It's probably not going to be the next 5 days. Probably going to be a couple here, a couple there kind of thing. Working on Lightning Hall, getting this maxed out. Then we'll come back to Poison Cave. So there's right here alone is 8 stages. And once we get everything to 1110, I don't really see the point in worrying about pushing 1210 anytime soon. I feel like at the very least, I mean, honestly, before we even look at 1210, I'm gonna be honest. We'll try, here's what I'll say. We're gonna try the first stage when Marion's artifacts are 6,000. So we're just gonna wait until Marion has 6,000. And again, we're gonna get Marion's artifacts from my calculations. Once we get to at least 6,000. When we get closer, like at 6,500, I will do the calculation of where Marion is compared to the guy that beat it in 12 hours, and we'll make a decision from there how high we need to go. Or sorry, not. I was thinking 6,600, but what I meant is 5,900. So at 5,900 ish, maybe 5,800. So I have some time, because honestly, you get up there pretty quick. So 58 to 5,900, we'll start really looking at Marion's stats and seeing how she compares. And again, we're going to assume that supports do about 80% of the damage of warriors. So Marion does have some disadvantages. And then at 6,000, like at 6,000, we're going to see how reasonable it looks, right? I want to have a clear time for the last stage that is effectively under 3 hours or less. I do not want to do a stage that's going to be over 3 hours. So I'm going to assume that if Marion is doing a certain multiple of his damage, that we should be able to get that. Okay. I basically need to be doing 4 times his damage. So I'll probably have a whole thing about where we need to be to achieve that. I'm hoping that by 6,000 Marion will be doing a little bit better than 4x. Because ideally I would want it to be about an hour to an hour and a half. That would be the ideal amount of time for the last stage. Obviously I could do a bunch of things and change that. And then the goal is going to be, depending on where we end up, we're going to work through the rest of the stages. Obviously they're going to be harder than Flame Fortress. We'll be sweeping Flame Fortress 11 at that time, which is over here. So we'll start sweeping that. And then based on what Marion's artifacts are at, we'll have to make a call on how high we're going to take them. Okay. I would assume that there's probably like a difficulty between all of them, that Flame Fortress 1210 is going to be the easiest, so we'll probably have to get her artifacts up higher, and we'll just see where it goes from there. It's going to be interesting to see where it ends up. And then once we clear all of 1210, we're going to round Marion's artifacts off to a multiple of 300. So if she's like between 66 and 6,900, we'll go to 6,900. If she's between 6,900 and 7,200, we'll go to 7,200. If she's between 7,200 and 7,500, we'll go to 7,500. And that's where we're going to stop Marion's artifacts. But I shouldn't plan too much beyond that, because it's going to be a journey getting there. So that's kind of the plan. I'm optimistic we're about halfway through the year. We have about, let's say, 180 days to go. At 6 levels a day for each one of our artifacts, that is a number. That's over 1,000. So we would be looking at the end of the year, hopefully making an assessment on where we are. Maybe I'll do the assessment at 5,400. I think that's a fair bet, 900 levels. We'll do the assessment around 5,400, planning to go to 6,000. But that's, oh, we need to do these two. So we have a lot of things coming up on the horizon. That's generally what I'm trying to say, is there's a lot of things coming up on the horizon. Now let's see what we got here. Also, we probably will be looking at trying to complete Portal. The Kingdom Pass and the Hero Pass. So once we get Total War, once we get everything to 1110, we will be looking at seeing if we can just finish Portal. Which means I might do multiple stages on a day. If I do more than one stage a day, I'm still going to space them out day by day. And Somebody did ask me not to speed them up. If I'm going to speed them up, but I'll make sure they're in solid multiples, like a multiple of 2, multiple of 3, and I'll put the multiple in the video. So that way you know just exactly how sped up they are. Because someone was trying to calculate something from that. I don't know what he was trying to calculate, but I know he was trying to calculate it. So I'll add that as well. I'm not planning, because the total work clear took 35 minutes. No need to speed that one up. I'll just post it as is. And this was our last successful attempt. And you can see that we did 118 quadrillion. And I want to say this was around 3,800 or so. So we'll see where that takes us. But once again, as always, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to support the channel. And if you have any questions, feel free to say something in the comments. I do always look forward to your questions. And as always, thank you again, and I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.